Hello and welcome to this video. We're playing Perpuxent. Yeah, okay. Knight f3 and the Ruy Lopez, and we get this d6 line. I usually just play immediately d4 here, and yeah, c4 is kind of interesting. c4. I'm not sure about c4. It looks not quite right, but on the other hand, could be good. Let's give it a whirl. Knight takes d4, bishop takes d7 check, queen takes d4. Going for knight c3 and knight c3. Okay, so now bishop takes d7, then queen e2 to deal with this. Yeah, so queen e2 or b3. They both look fine to me. Maybe b3 actually, to try and get on this long diagonal with the bishop. So I think just castles and then bishop b2. Okay, looks good. And the question is whether we can get in f4 and just go for, a huge attack. Okay, so I think f3 here, since we kind of want to play f4 anyway. I don't know that I really want to exchange queens, since I think I have more space and so on. So what about knight d5 now? Knight d5 looks interesting. Bishop d7 looks pretty bad, so I think knight d5 looks good, and then c takes. Then we've got this backward c pawn to hound. Yeah, bishop here is interesting. There are some issues with knight f3 check though. That's one thing to be aware of. So one idea would be rook b1 to just keep this bishop here. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that now. What else can I try? Queen c2. Quite like to have this rook on the c file. Maybe queen c2 here. Queen c2. Don't see anything concrete here. Knight moves. Queen d2 could be even better. Queen d2 maybe. Queen d2, keeping an eye on the bishop and keeping an eye on the knight. Heading for rook c1. That looks pretty good. And also then knight b5 as well. Okay, so let's just go for this now. What happens if rook c1? Is c6 working? Takes, no. So, what are you going to do about your c pawn? You're a minute ahead on the clock. So, what else have we got here? We've got stuff like rook c2, rook fc1. Okay, so that's a waste of a move then if you've got to play that. I think knight f5 is possible, but I'm not sure it really gains much. This is what I want to play right now. Knight b5, hits a7, hits c6, but maybe now c6. c6 isn't great because that leaves the d6 pawn undefended, so I think c6 is playable. The issue for me is if I can have a take on a7, because then rook here, and then knight moves and rook takes a2. That's a little annoying. But at the moment you've got to deal with this. Okay, so you go with that, and then we have an issue of what to do with this knight. This is a nice little move by black. We can play knight a7, but then rook a8 we lose the knight. We can't play knight d6. So knight c7 is what we want to play. The question is, how does black get on that? Is it easy for black to get on that knight? Yeah, maybe just bishop d8 immediately. Then we have to double on this, but we can't easily double here because we can only double with the queen. Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah. Okay, so going back here, I'm planning to try and get rid of this good knight here. So idea is to play knight c4, trade stuff off, and then continue to pressurize on the c file. Okay, c5 played. So c5 played. Why doesn't... So we got a choice here, a nice choice between dc, and then I think we're winning the d6 pawn in a lot of lines. Maybe not though, or just knight c4. Just knight c4, knight takes. It's hard to calculate this. We can also take the knight first, and then we don't have the en passant. So knight. I'm going to take this. It's very hard to calculate this, especially with not much time. Knight takes f6. Okay, so you go for this. Now what? So my idea was just this. It was just this. So I'm going to go for that. Okay, you quickly play this. I want to go here to... Oh, I'm running into knight d3 here. Yeah, you played that very quickly. Yeah, of course, of course. I'm not sure if this sacrifice is not just completely idiotic, but let's go for it anyway. Can't see another alternative here. Frustrating. I mean, white's definitely busto here. But we might just about have enough to continue playing. I think we might have a pawn. If bishop takes rook, okay, so you go back here, and I think we want to go here. Yeah, okay, so that's threatening this. And there's also a check here. Oops, so rook f2 to guard against knight e2 and stop knight takes f3. That looks nice. Knight c4, we want to try and get that in. We need to play bishop c3 to shift the knight. Yeah, okay. So we definitely don't want to make your life easier by exchanging here, because I'm losing at the moment. Okay, let's bring this back here. Hit the knight. Where's the knight going to? e6. Maybe then knight e5. Okay. And then knight e5 we want to play to hit the queen and the c6 pawn. Okay. Let's go with this now, because rook c1 is covered. So okay, but then can't we take this? Can't we take this with the rook? Okay. Got a check here on e7. Let's go with this check and then hit this. Hit the queen, and on queen e1 we got rook f1. Okay. Queen d2, we've got... Not sure what we've got. We've got bishop. Okay, let's see. Hit the knight. We want to play rook d1, I guess. Okay, there's some discovered attacks on this knight. Let's go bishop a3. Bishop here hits the queen. We've got 21 seconds. It's not enough time. Knight e3. Attacks the queen, and then we're going into f5. Knight queen. Oh, Schweppes, I'm losing this bishop. Yeah. Okay, let's hit that. Queen again. Queen takes b3. Just bad, just bad, just bad. Dropping on g2. Yeah. Queen takes e3. Yeah. Okay. Time to give up. Okay, so just reflecting on the game. Happy with my position and decisions until about this point here. After a6, this looked okay. c5 was played. We took. We got this pawn on d6. I think white's just a clear pawn up. Now here, this was the move that ran into knight d3. So the question is whether we can do anything about that. And if we can't, then we can't take this d6 pawn. I don't really see anything. I mean, we can play bishop takes e5 and then you know, we lose the queen, we get a piece and a rook for that. Although actually, yeah, no, that's right. But if we've got no other places to put the queen, then that's what's going to happen. Because queen b4 doesn't help. You still run into the same thing. Rook takes c6. Rook takes c6. I don't think that helps. Rook takes c6. Rook takes d6. Rook back check. And rook back again, covered by the bishop. So there's no mate there. And I think that there's nothing else we can do. So that means we can't take on d6. And that means that probably this line was not optimal. So after c5, maybe we should just continue in a steady, slow fashion with... I mean, even f4 is kind of interesting. f4 moves the knight. We trade on f6, queen takes f6, and then knight c4 to pressurize the backward d-pawn. That looks also pretty nice. So I think this is where we went wrong. And then I sort of fought my way back into the game, but just didn't have enough time to do anything meaningful. Okay, thanks for watching.